9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! We did it!
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. It is the first day of the year. It is a beautiful, boner stick is up, 83-degree day here in Central Florida. If you made it through New Year's, if you had a safe New Year, if you made it home, if everybody's okay, if you're okay, give this video a thumbs up. I just want to know you're okay. Just hit that like button for me, let me know you're okay. But just wanted to wish you guys a Happy New Year. That's about it right now. I'm just gonna kind of chill out today and enjoy this beautiful 84-degree weather here in Central Florida, and just wanted to say Happy New Year to you guys. Later. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a beautiful, like 81-degree day here in Central Florida. The boner stick is up, crystal clear skies, 81 degrees. Humidity is only at like 55% right now, so it actually feels really nice. But I want to show you what I've been doing here on the Mazda. I think I told you last video or the one before, I lost my antenna. But what I've been doing, and you can see the shavings down here, I need to clean those up. But I had to drill out the center port because it rusted out, it broke, and it was stuck in there. So I drilled that out. It did not come out very easy, so I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I do have this new profile antenna that goes on there. Now the way it works is there's these screws that are supposed to screw into that antenna base, and then this wire right here goes onto that screw. Now the problem is, since I had to drill out that broken piece in there, I messed up all the threads and everything on there because it did not come out very easily. So I did take a screw and put it in there. It will bite in there and go all the way down, but I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to screw that screw in there, get it all the way down, seat it as tight as possible, and then I'm probably going to just take like liquid epoxy or something along those lines and just put it around there just so it holds it in place. And then I have to mount the antenna. Whoops. This antenna, it sticks onto the car with this double-sided stick tape. But my car finish is not that great, so I'm a little worried on how well that's going to adhere to that surface, because if you look, it's not in very good shape here. I got to clean all those shavings off, get it nice and clean. I'll rub it down with alcohol, and probably I'll hit it with some of that crud cutter also, try to get that as clean as possible before I stick that down and attach it to the car there. But that's where I stand right now. I'm going to think about it for a day, probably, because I just got done drilling that out and doing all that stuff. So I'm going to think about it for a day and maybe see if I can come up with some other situation. The other thing would be to buy a new mount like that, but they're only like 30 bucks. But I got to remove the whole headliner and everything to get to the bolt and everything underneath there to remove that old one and put the new one on. I don't want to do that unless I absolutely have to. But that's where I stand right now on that. I will let you know what I decide to do on that, and I'll show you what I decide to do whenever I decide to do it. Later. Alright guys, well it's got to dry now. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's worth a shot. I'll let you know. Alright guys, well there you go. New antenna is installed. So, now comes, we'll see how long that lasts. If it does any better. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't turned the car on and checked the radio stations or anything, but it's hooked up. The epoxy is still drying, so I'm just going to let that dry overnight. I'll try it tomorrow. See ya. By the way, didn't work. What is up, everybody? I wanted to tell you about this gun that I got. It was my dad's. He had it locked up in his case in his room for many years. Now, I knew he had it. He had told me that it was originally like his backup gun. He was a police officer up in Franklin Park back in the mid-70s. He was an auxiliary police officer, and he had told me, I don't know if it's how true it is, that this was his backup revolver. Now, I was going through his stuff and I found it. It's an Iver Johnson Arms and Cycle Works gun. Now, I really don't know anything about guns. I have no interest in guns or anything. But I wanted to take it in and see what it was and see if somebody could help me identify it. And last month when I was delivering packages for UPS, one of the gun stores up here, I went in there to deliver a package and I asked them, I said, hey, you know, I got this gun, you know, from my dad. Do you think if I bring it in, you can help me identify it? So he said, yeah. So the other day I brought it in and he looked it up. He looked up the serial number. It was not stolen. That's the first thing that they have to do. But then he traced it back. It's an Ivers and Johnson's. It's actually a, let's see if I can do this. It's a 32 short automatic. And the reason it's called an automatic, it's not like an automatic what we're thinking about these days. But the reason it's called an automatic is because when you flip this up, if you could see how that part comes up and it will eject the cartridges for you automatically. That is why it's called an automatic. Now, this is it's called a 32 short automatic. He traced this back from the serial number, which is in the 64,000. I'm not going to give you the exact number, but it's 64,000. Now, up until 100,000, they just used the serial numbers. After they made 100,000 guns, they started putting a letter in front of the serial number. He dated this one back from the serial number and the other markings that are on here. This gun was made in 1896 to 1898. The late 1890s is when this gun was made. So this is basically an antique gun. It is well over 100 years old, 120, you know, plus years old, whatever. Now, he had told me, he looked up some other ones, the same gun and everything. Now, this gun, not this particular gun, but this model of gun was actually used to kill President McKinley, assassinate President McKinley, and also assassinate Senator Robert Kennedy. This is the gun, not this one, but a model exactly like this is the gun that was used to kill those two people in history. Now, this gun was made between 1896 and 1898. It is a 32 short, and it was actually made for black powder bullets. Now, he said you could use the regular 32 short Smith & Wesson bullets that they have now, but they're like impossible to find. You can't find them. He tried looking up to get some. I tried looking up online to get some. They're basically unavailable. But this gun, he looked it up at auctions and stuff. He said in this condition, he said, which is basically a mint condition. It's got a couple little scratches here that he actually buffed out for me, which was very cool of him. And he looked these up, and similar guns in a lot worse shape were going for like $250. And he said this gun in this particular shape, being practically mint condition, was probably worth between $500 and $600. Could be worth more if you get it in a good auction, he said. But he said he wouldn't sell it, and I'm not going to sell it either. I mean, I didn't know it was an antique. This is literally an antique from the late 1890s. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool. I thought I'd share that with you. I didn't know what it was. Like I said, I knew nothing about guns. I was at that place for like 45 minutes, and he was just looking up anything he could find on it. But it turns out it's a Ivers Johnson and Cycle Works 1896 to 1898 32 short sport automatic is what it's called. So I just thought that was interesting. I thought that I'd share that with you guys. So that's it. Later. Okay, guys, it is January 1st, 1:35 a.m. Just turned over to New Year, and we've got this freak snowstorm happening outside. This is my camera in front of the house. You can barely see my car mirror right there. My car is right here. You can barely see my car through this snowstorm. Freak New Year's Day snowstorm. Unbelievable. This year's coming in with a bang, I guess. Freaky, heavy snowstorm here going on. Just wanted to show you. What is up, everybody? How are you doing? That was this week's Around the House. This one's going up a little bit late because Home Depot thought it would be a great idea to have me go in at 6 a.m. this morning. So, got back home 10, worked 6 to 10, took a little nap, and then I decided to put this together and get this up for you today. That's why it's up a little bit late today. But anyway, about Home Depot, yeah, it is very, very, very interesting, I gotta say. I mean, I never realized how many different types of paint there are. I mean, not particularly type, but the different bases for mixing colors. Like, you could have an eggshell, and then depending on what color you want, there's like 4 different tint bases that you can use. Now, the computer does everything. It tells you which one you need, but you need to know, you know, for this you need this, 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 and then there's the different finishes. There's the flat, the matte, the satin, semi-gloss, eggshell, high gloss, and they're all used for different purposes. Like, you wouldn't want to use a high gloss on a wall that has some imperfections, because a high gloss will show you all the little imperfections in your wall. It's got to be a completely flat wall. For a ceiling, a popcorn ceiling, you don't want to use a satin or a semi-gloss or a matte. You want to use a flat. I mean, it's so much to learn. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I did not think there was that much that went into a simple can of paint and what you need to do with it. But I am learning a lot. I think it's taken me a little bit longer than I was hoping it would, just because of the sheer volume of stuff that you need to know. We have 2 different types of paints that we sell. Bear, which is Home Depot's like brand name, and then the other one we sell is Glidden, and the other one is PGE B, I think it's called, which is a sister company of Glidden. But I mean, and they're, you know, it's all different. It's all different. It's a big learning curve for me right now. But I am learning a lot. The only thing I do not like about this is my schedule is all over the board. I mean, literally all over the board. The first 2 days I was on the floor, the first day I worked from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Second day I worked from 1 to 5 p.m. This morning, I worked from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tomorrow, I'm working from 1 to 5. And then next week, they got me a couple days where I'm working from like 6:30 to 11 p.m. And then, you know, the next day I'm working, you know, 2 to 6. I mean, it's all over the board. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I'm really trying to give it a chance to get used to it, but I really do not like that because it's all over the board. But anyway, guys, that's this week's Around the House. Nice little story about my dad's gun that I found. It actually turns out it's an antique from 1896, 97, 98-ish. So it's a very old gun. It is an antique. I was very surprised. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it to be that old, but it is that old of a gun. But that's pretty interesting. But anyway, guys, that's it. Come back Tuesday. Another taste test challenge going up on Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I'd appreciate it. And Happy New Year, guys. And let's make this year better. That's all I can say. Later, guys.